everyone, Jake here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Haslab exclusive Transformers Victory Deathsaurus. And yes, if you have been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I got him quite some time ago this year, but due to procrastination and things out of my control, I wasn't able to do it until fairly recently. So I was thinking for the new year, he'd be the perfect one to kind of highlight what I think is probably the best Transformers figure that I got in 2024. There he is on his massive throne. I will admit he is cooler in a lot of ways than Victory Saber because, well, he comes with a giant throne and it's so cool. And also, the stand is a bit sturdier. I will admit the dais thing is a little plain, but I don't care. And besides, I think that is somewhat accurate to the show, where it would like raise out from, I don't know, the depths, I guess, in his ship or base. It was very interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and get him lifted out of his throne. If you'll notice, this is a little bit of, not exactly transformation, but more of just to get him to the throne, is that his legs will not bend that far normally to get it to the right height for the throne. So you have to undo the knees a little bit, and you just do that. Just pretty much extend his legs, flip down his flaps, and I guess rotate his hands around so that he's, you know, standing up all nice and tall. And let's go ahead and move him off to the back. And as you can see, eagle chest, or chest eagle, can perch on top of the throne. I'm not sure if he ended up doing that in the show or not, but I think I haven't watched enough of Victory. I do like what I've seen, and I really do need to finish the show at some point, but I really do think it's a pretty cool show. But it's a very, very anime and really goofy in some respects. But yeah, this is pretty much Eagle Chest, and I'll go ahead and show off his gun mode just well, may as well show that off so that I can then turn him into chest configuration, because I'd rather show off the alt modes for the weapons. So this is pretty much his blaster mode, and it's very goofy indeed. It's just like a block with guns popping out of it. And I do believe you can put blast effects on the ends like that, and it just looks, well, like I said, goofy in my opinion. It also doesn't seem to stay on that great. And then there are tabs so that you can fit the gun into his hands, which are pretty decently sized. So eagle chest, let's go ahead and get into the back of the hand, close up, and there we have a silly box gun. I must say that the tiger chest is pretty cool, but for whatever reason, I get lion vibes more, but I think that's also just because of, well, what's his name? The lion cassette that is in Blaster. And then, I mean, just getting him into what looks almost like a cassette mode or chest mode is just to pretty much just open up the wings, fold in the guns, and close it back up. So you can set that in there. Pull this off, or better show off the feature is that you can, oh man, this is just so big. You can push from behind to pop out the chest, and then I do love that they have this panel so that even if you have neither of them in there, he still has a back rather than just an empty cavity. And then we can go ahead and put eagle chest back inside like that, or if you want to do it more or better, if you just want to have it centered, just carefully push it out, and then we have eagle chest exposed, but tiger chest out in the open, out and about. So Tiger Chest has a bow mode, and let's see, go ahead and get that flipped out and around, and it's pretty much very, but you just push on down and then flip this, and that's so that you can knock the arrow. And speaking of the arrow, and before we go ahead and finish showing off the bow mode, which is pretty cool in my opinion, let's go ahead and show where it can go on his arm. Oh, I guess pan up a little bit, but just taps in right in the forearm, but it is a little loose feeling. It doesn't feel super sturdy, and as you can see, it just pops off really easily. Fortunately, you can put it on either side, so if one side is giving you more trouble than the other, you can put it on the other side. Now, before we pull out the bow, let's go over the storage options. As you can see, there's a lot going on back here. Here we have the shield, which also forms the tail, and the tail shield can also go on him in his robot mode, but let's set the tail off to the side for now. And good thing about doing this, you also get to see the storage without me having to necessarily put it all back away. We have a mace, which I will say it is pretty cool, but the downside is with no wire, you can't have it really in motion. It's just going to dangle. And it's the same way that he holds it, so just set that off to the side. A sword, which it looks almost like a scimitar, I think is the correct name for the blade. It's a curved, large blade. Makes you think of like maybe Middle Eastern countries to a degree. And if you look over here, you can plug it onto his back. Well, there we are. I just had to press kind of hard, but it can go on his back. So that's cool storage for robot mode. Also, the mace can just be dropped into the neck of the griffin thing. But the downside is that obviously can't really have it there for his alt mode because, well, that's where his head goes, his robot mode head goes. I guess you can put Eagle Chest back front and center because got pushed back inadvertently. And then this is the big bad weapon that I still have yet to see in the show. And since I haven't gotten to this point in the show where this weapon's introduced, I don't know what it's called. And I know they said what it was on the Hasbro Pulse thing on the funding, but it is a powerful weapon which can also be held in his robot mode, just plugging into the hand, and it can also be held by his alt mode, which I think is pretty cool. And I guess the last thing, of course, which is for Tiger Chest, which is the bow, or not bow, the arrow for the bow. And if you'll notice, there's two different notches. Then we can have him like he's holding a bow, an arrow, and the chest keeps pushing. It's very easy for it to push in, and he actually looks really cool like this. As you can see, the sword on his back, the tiger chest bow and arrow, it really makes him look like a warrior god deity, evil warrior deity, which I think is really cool. Now on this shoulder, it might be the same on the other one, but I don't think so. Nope, it's only on this shoulder, but you can rotate that around so that you can then plug the shield onto his shoulder. And now you pretty much have everything that all of his accessories on him, with the exception of this gun of his. Anyway, I'd say that this is a pretty good pose to have him in if you want to be utilizing as much of his accessories as possible in one mode, because you can see everything without having it on his throne, obviously, and then have the gun either on the throne or just off to the side. And there is this stand piece that can be used for robot mode and his alt mode, but I will say I've really just only really like to use it for the alt mode, because when you have a throne this cool, why would you have him just standing? Now, like I said, this pose is actually pretty cool. I think that's actually pretty cool. But if you have a throne like that, it's like criminal to let it go unused. But let's go ahead and bring in someone else for comparison, because it would be almost just as criminal not to bring in Victory Saber and see how they look together. I could show them off together separate, show them separately with Deathsaurus, but it seems like this is the best way to show them together. And that's pretty much it for that. So I guess it's about time for articulation. Alright, so for our Lord of Darkness, his articulation, I guess on his head, which is absolutely amazing. He'll look up and down quite a ways. Gets a little bit wibbly wobbly. Can not do a full 360, just the way the head is designed, I suppose. But he does get quite a bit of range of motion. Honestly, having a full 360 honestly has never really made 100% a whole lot of sense to me, because it's like, why not when you like when that's not even a fair range of motion in most instances. And then the wings can go in and out that far, out that far. If you rotate Tiger Chest's panels in, you can get a full 360 on a nice ratchet. Arms can go out that far. Get a bicep rotation. A little over 9° bend at the elbow. Wrist rotation. Hands can open up. And one thing I did forget to point out with the arrows is that both hands do have the arrow fingers, so they can do to pull the bowstring, although there is no actual string to pull. Does have waist rotation, although Tiger Chest does get in the way of that a little bit. Like, his head can move up a little bit to help accommodate that, but even so, it is somewhat limited to the rotation you can get there. Now, of course, if you remove Tiger Chest, I'm sure you could get a full 360 out of that. You can, if you flip up the side panels, you can get them to do the full split thigh rotation on a very stiff mushroom peg. About 9° bent at the knees. And you do get ankle tiltage, and you don't really get much else with the feet. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. So that's pretty much about it for his robot mode. So before we get him into his alt mode, let's go ahead and show Tiger. Oh, come on, move. Don't move. Show off Tiger Chest in his Tiger mode. So pretty much just want to flip those up, pull out on the head, flip out the mouth, just a little, open up the mouth. Well, it does open up, but man, is it stiff, just like on Eagle Chest. Eagle Chest also has, come on, the same issue of having very stiff jaw. There we are. So Tiger Chest mouth can open up, and then go ahead and open up and pull out the tail. Then put this back, then flip out the legs, and then pull. Alrighty. There we are. I forgot you also need to pull, I guess, at least before pushing them back in, you need to rotate these around so that we can get the hindquarters rotated back around, and then get these flipped back up, and close them back up. And then we have Tiger Chest in his, I guess, tiger mode. It is something. It's kind of cool, I guess. But I will say I do like eagle mode better than I do like tiger chest. Tiger mode. And to be fair, considering that he does turn into a chest, he does look really wide, like really, really wide. Looks closer like a tortoise shell on top. So maybe like a tortoise shell tabby. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much about it for tiger chest. So I guess it's about time to get Deathsaurus into his monster mode. Oh, one last thing. I mean, it's kind of self-evident, but the tail shield thing, you can pull off this part right here, which is the handle for it, and pop it in the hole like that, and then he can hold it like a standard shield rather than just being on his shoulder. This is his beast mode. I think it looks pretty cool. Also kind of silly because it makes me think of a giant turkey. But although getting some of the things to stay tabbed in place is a little annoying. But as you can see, pretty much the arms become the legs, and then the legs become the tail along with the shield. Kind of makes me think of Grimlock a little bit in that regard. I've heard that this guy transforms completely different than the original. I think I pointed that out in my unboxing a long time ago, but not that I really care that much. I never had the original, because as long as it's cartoon accurate and it works well, that's all I really care about. Let's go ahead and bring out this gun. If I can, the handle's a little stuck, just bend it out so that can help you get the handle out. Just put it back together. And there you have the handle, which is really funny considering how tiny these little arms are. You can actually hold. And then you, I guess, put it over his shoulder, and then you have a giant bird griffin thing firing a giant gun. So I think that's pretty funny, and also, I guess, kind of cool at the same time. And for one last comparison, because I think it's really cool, and I know that that's not really anything that's in the instructions, but it does remind me of something that I saw in the show. I'm not sure if he ever did it with his ship attached to Victory Leo, but I will say that Saber sometimes would ride his armor in his into battle, and he'd like fire the guns from a little control thing. It was really silly considering, he can pilot the whole thing. So, but I thought this would be kind of cool, having him wield his sword while riding his ship fighting Deathsaurus. I've got two little guys to talk about. Two little guys. Hippo and Boater. Two little Autobots from the Autobot rescue team, which finally completes the set of the, of Holly and Fire, and then of course Hippo and Boater. We got the full set now, although I could swear his name was something different, at least in the subtitles, in the sub version of Victory. Maybe it was Stakeout, I'm not sure, but I don't think it was Holly. Anyway, but that's what, in my research, and that's what it says on the instructions, so according to instructions, it is Holly. Anyway, Boater is a simple little robot, just flip around, collapse, and we're pretty much done. And Boater is pretty much just a Micromaster. I love this. I love the Micromasters that they include with these guys. They're actually really, really detailed, and the heads are on a swivel. I do love the detail on Boater. And then Hippo is also pretty simple. Just rotate and then flip around the feet and then just pull down the arms. And I also like the head sculpt on Hippo. Focus. Anyway, but looks pretty nice. Do you like the detail? There's Holly. If you haven't seen my review of Star Saber or Victory Saber, and yeah, I need to zoom into the proper. There we are. Okay, that's better. Okay, so there's Holly, and then just to get a better look because it wasn't zoomed in properly. There we are. I had to zoom out for Deathsaurus so we could see him properly because, you know, they say he's a big guy. So there is the complete rescue patrol, and I think it's pretty cool that they're just a group of little mini, Micromasters that help out where they can. So that's about it for Transformers Haslab exclusive Transformers Victory Deathsaurus. And if you like this long rambling review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button. See more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.